Hello students. So this is basically video for the purpose of secondary students and those who it's also for useful for the Uniraj students and those who ever having the dolls house in their syllabus. So this is very enthusiastic, very nice play. Especially every woman, every girl should read this. This is written by Henrik Ibsen, who is a Norwegian writer, and he's a very social writer. He normally talks about the things which is happening around us. So in this play, a writer is highlighting the aspects, writer is highlighting the problems of the women, how women, not only in India, as we say, are limitized to certain things, to the kitchen, to the children, to the husband, and to the house chores only. How women is limited towards these things in the foreign at that time as well. So, basically, writer is highlighting here the life of Nora, who is the wife of Toward Hammer. You can see the characters here. Nora Helmer, wife of Toward, mother of three, is living out of the ideal of 19th century wife, but leaves her family at the end of play. That I'll tell you when we go through the story. Then there is a Towell who is husband of Nora Helmer. He's a bank manager, and he was very stiff, very rigid, very much representing the patriarchy society where the male dominates, where the male find themselves as the superior, where they find themselves as a source of earning, providing the facilities to the wife, and the duties of wife should be fulfilled, how the ideal wife should be, how a ideal girl should be, and if they are doing something wrong, then the men like Towel can't stand with this. So this is very much represented by Towel. Then there we can find the character Dr. Rang, who was very much good lover, very nice doctor. He was a family friend too. Nora, and he used to visit Nora. He was having some feelings for Nora, but never directly was expressed by both of them. Then Kristen is very much friend of Nora. She is a widow, old school friend, and she was looking for employment. So Nora was trying her best to provide her opportunity to work with the maybe in the office or somewhere in his husband's office. But later we find he couldn't manage even a single job for his wife's friend. And then there you can find the character Nils Krogstad, who blackmails Nora at the end and who was very cunning person who can do anything for the job, anything for the monetary purposes. Then three children you can see, Ivar was there, Bobby was there, Emmy was there, and Annie Mary, who used to take care of the children as a stranger. She was in their house. Ellen, Helmer's maid, and Porter was there. So basically, in this play, writer Henrik Ibsen is highlighting, describing the story of married man, women who considered her life to be quite satisfied with her husband, was very happy doing things for her husband, cooking for her husband, doing things for the children, bringing up the children, taking care of the house chores, used to feel very proud and superior by managing the house things. But at the end she realized she is doing everything. She has given her whole life for the family, but at the end she was not even valued, considered good even, or given credit by her husband. Even she was accused by her husband, which she couldn't stand with this. And the result was she left the house and moved out of the house. So this is very nice story, and it is very much realistic. It is very much happening in our real life too. So and then you can see a development of the play. She was insulted by her husband for the forgery that she did for his sake only, but even it was not considered and valued by her husband only. So this was the story, but I'll go through the story in detail so you might understand, and this is going to help you to attempt the question in your exam as well. So Doll's House opens on Christmas evening. Nora Helmer enters her well-furnished living room, the setting of entire play carrying several packages. Torvald Hammer, Nora's husband, come out of his study. There is basically a study room where they sit, where they do the brooding, and then he's coming out of this, and then they both are talking. He greets her playfully, affectionately, but then chides her for spending so much money on the Christmas gifts. Even the small compliments given by the Towel, we can see how he used to address Nora, how he used to treat Nora. He used to call her squirrel, my little girl, my little doll. So, Doll's House, basically, the title is highlighting how girls are treated as dolls by their sometimes by the father, sometimes by the husband, sometimes by the brother. It's good to be cared, but it's not good to be cared too much, or just under the sign of care, or under the sign of um, love, affection. They are trying to subjugate you, they are trying to suppress you, they are trying to show you that you can't do this or this because you are very sensitive like doll. You should be inside the house only, you should be protected only. But protection doesn't come emotionally, it comes only when you go out and you are earning your bread, or maybe you are trying to be independent. Basically, what is required is protection, which should be emotional. So you will see all these aspects here. Then you can see conversation reveals that Helmers have had to be careful with money for many years, as he was not earning much. Torvald has recently obtained a new position at the bank where he works and will afford them a more comfortable lifestyle. Helen, the maid, announces that Helmer's dear friend Dr. Rank has come to visit, and there was Dr. Rank, as I already told you, he used to come in the absence of Helmer, and he had good affection towards Nora, of course, but Nora couldn't get married to him, so he used to visit her. To Nora's great surprise, Kristen was also there. A former school friend comes into the room. Two have not seen each other for years, but Nora mentions having read that Mrs. Lynn's husband passes away a few years ago. So now Mrs. Lynn was not having money, she was not financially independent, so she needs a job where she can find herself strong. And after that, we can see Towel become sick, and couple had to travel to Italy so that Towel can recover. Nora inquires further about Mrs. Lynn's life. Mrs. Lynn explains that for years she had to care for her sick mother, and her two younger brothers were there. She used to take care of them, but mother passed away, and brothers also too old to need her. So now she is not having financial support. So she came to her friend for the hope that she will find a good job and support as well. We can see Towel may be able to help her obtain employment. Nora promises to speak to Towel and find the job for her. Nora illegally borrowed money, and what is the main episode you will find in this? This is the main episode, guys. So you will find that Nora illegally borrowed some money from her father, and she hid this from Towel because Towel couldn't bear that Nora is borrowing the money from his father-in-law. So he can't stand with this. It is very much attacking on her ego, or hurting him personally, attacking him personally, or attacking his ego. So and for years, Nora reveals she has worked and saved in secret, slowly repaying the debt, and soon it will be fully repaid. So she was planning that soon, slowly, she will repay the debt to his father. But Krogstad, who was a low-level employee at the bank where Towel works, arrives and proceeds into the Towel's study. Nora reacts uneasily to Krogstad's presence, and Dr. Rank, coming out of the study, says Krogstad is morally sick. Once he has finished meeting with Krogstad, Towel comes into the living room and says that he can probably hire Mrs. Lynn at the bank. So Dr. Rank, Towel, and Mrs. Len then depart, leaving Nora by herself. Nora's children return with the nanny, Annie Mary. Nora plays with them as she notices Krogstad's presence in the room and two converse, and Krogstad is revealed to be the source of Nora's secret loan. So now what is the episode? As Nora already talked to Towel about the job for Mrs. Linde. Told was agree and to provide the job to Mrs. Linde, but Krogstad was very much aware about the loan which Nora has borrowed, and Told was unaware about this loan. So Krogstad was blackmailing Nora that if she couldn't convey to her husband regarding the job security and promotion of Krogstad, then Krogstad would reveal the secret of borrowing loan from her father to Told, which was very tough and difficult for Nora, which was she could be kicked out of the house. She could feel like hurt in the eyes of her husband's eyes, and maybe her husband will not treat her good. हो सकता है उसका हस्बैंड उसको घर से निकाल दे, उसको बैड ट्रीट करे, और बहुत सारे एस्पेक्ट्स. सो नोरा उन्हीं सब चीज़ों के बारे में सोचना स्टार्ट कर देती है जब क्रॉगस्टार्ट उसको उस लेटर के बारे में, उसको उस मनी के बारे में ब्लैकमेल करता है कि अगर तुम मेरे जॉब के बारे में अपने हस्बैंड से बात नहीं करोगी तो मैं तुम्हारी जो बोरोइंग मनी था, ये जो एपिसोड है लोन लेने का, वो मैं तुम्हारे हस्बैंड को बता दूंगा, एंड देन ही विल नॉट leave you. Now the Nora, who was a good wife in the eyes of her husband, will doesn't want to be bad wife in the eyes of her own husband and in the eyes of children. So what is further developing, we will see. Krogstad states that Towel wants to fire him from his position at the bank and alludes to his own poor reputation. He asks Nora to use her influence to ensure that his position remains secure. So now he's pressurizing Nora to ask your husband that my position should not get harmed and it should be secure. Your husband should not kick me out of the bank. Otherwise, I'll show your letter to your husband, which is a forgery, the false sign which you have done for the sake of the money. Okay, so money had come for her, and these are the aspects which Krogstad would like to highlight. He asked Nora to use her influence to ensure that his position remains secure. When she refuses, Krogstad points out that he has in his possession and contract there contains Nora's forgery of her father's signature. When she copied her father's signature just to get the money, so he will be showing this to to her husband, which will be forcing the dispute between both of them, which the Nora never wants, and she can't afford this because she somewhere a woman loves her husband too much. A woman is very much dedicated to the house chores, to the husband, to the children, because she imagines her whole life in this parameter only, in this box only, so she can't think her life beyond this. So if someone hits her or her position as out of box, she becomes very insecure. Where will I go? What will I do? Who will afford me, who will manage me? So this is very difficult being a woman who is not independent, who is unemployed. So I can understand the pain of Nora very much. So, Krogstad blackmails Nora, threatening to reveal her crime and to bring shame and disgrace on both Nora and her husband if she doesn't prevent Oval from firing him. Krogstad leaves by threatening Nora that if she doesn't convey about the position of Krogstad to her husband, then he will be carrying all these things to Towel. When Towel returns, Nora tries to convince him not to fire Krogstad, and but Toward will hear nothing of it. He declares Krogstad is an immoral man and he can't afford to do this. Then he was physically ill in the presence of such people. So this is the half part of the story. Next I will be covering in the next video. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.